it's a great time to have you on, Luis, because I think we've talked about this a bit of rap beefs. And there's not just rap beefs now, there's beefs like all over the place. First off, everybody's coming after Drake from every angle. Drake used AI to resurrect Tupac and throw him into a diss track on Kendrick Lamar. You got Kendrick versus everybody, Drake versus everybody. Quavo and Chris Brown are going at it right now, each calling each other wife beaters, and I don't know, who's supposed to win in that battle. You have J. Cole was beefing with Kendrick Lamar, and all of this.
Yeah, Eminem and Benzino.
Right. All of this is moving so
Eminem
fast
and Benzino, which is like a 30-year-old beef.
Right. I missed the J. Cole beef completely because then he apologized to Kendrick. He was like, you know what, I don't want to get into all this. And Taylor Swift, Scott's girl, just dropped her brand new album. She puts out a diss track to Kim Kardashian in there. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know what got into the water. I don't know what Cat Williams said to really unleash this Pandora's box onto the world. We almost launched into World War III last week, and that seemed a little calmer than everything that's happening right now between the rap beefs. So, what do you take? What's your take on all of this, Luis?
Well, I think we've done like top 5 like diss records and top 5 rap beefs and previous stuff like that, and it was always like Ice Cube versus NWA, Nas versus Jay-Z. Saying Pac, Biggie. Those are probably the big 3, right? Pac, Biggie,
50 and Jadakiss.
Oh yeah,
Chris Rock and Jada.
Chris Rock and Jada. I mean, we've done Easy and Dre. There's just so many, right? Eminem versus everybody. Eminem versus people on their own records. Eminem versus Benzino, which I thought got settled in like 2004. But apparently they were still talking about it. Benzino was on Drink Champs or another fucking podcast crying when they were talking about Eminem. It was insane. Look, man, I think that if you look at 50 too, like 50 Cent, like he tries to get into his rap beat, but he's very like upfront about it and saying, look, I'm doing it because it moves units, right?
Yeah.
He's talking about how he dissed the rapper and the rapper didn't come back, and he's like, you missed an opportunity, dude. You should have just fucking gone with it, Like 50 went up against Nas and went up against a bunch of other people, and I think that was because he had Eminem backing him up, right? So for me, the quintessential point has always been Ether, because they made it a verb. They turned a song, a diss track into the significance of ethering somebody, and hip is unique to hip hop, where you're burning them and you diss them so bad. My favorite so far has been J. Cole dissing Kendrick, but then he went back on it. Like, I don't understand. Like, he didn't stand behind his word or on business, as they said, because he tried to take it back and soften the blow by apologizing. So I'm always, out of the alleged top 3 that are current, I'm a J. Cole guy, So I think it goes Cole, Kendrick, Drake. I don't even like Drake, honestly. So I'm just saying if you have to put him in there. So I think it's good. Obviously, I think everybody learned from the Pac Biggie beef, and the fucking Chicago drill scene, fucking down south drill scene, fucking people actually dying over stuff like this. So I think mostly it's performative. And the new one is Ryan Garcia versus reality. That's gonna be good. Who's gonna take that one? So yeah, I love it. Honestly, I like it. It really is just maybe being a veteran of the beef scene. I guess it does feel like some of this is like how you have like celebrities dating each other. It also feels like, hey, what would really. We've shown research that if you guys are beefing with each other, we're going to bump our sales 30%. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many of them are like super, super legit, but I'm here for it. I'm here to watch, and I'm here to. It's just like it's hard to catch. But with AI now, every other second you see a post that says Drake comes back, and it's obviously an AI Drake or an AI Kendrick and shit like that. So that's kind of the bad side of the modern day beefs, is that they move too fast. I think it goes from responds the next day to AI responds to like it's but old man, it's hard to keep up with all these beefs.
You got Young Thug versus that federal prosecutor who really doesn't seem to like his music while he's going through these RICO charges. You brought up the AI. Scott, how do you feel? I don't know if you've seen it or heard it from today, but Drake put out a track that had an AI Snoop Dogg and an AI Tupac. And I guess it was, you could still hear Drake's flow through the voices, but he used those West Coast legends to take shots at Kendrick Lamar. Is that creative or whack?
Little column A, little column B. I mean, it's definitely something that's unprecedented. I mean, it's something that's going to have to take a look at, because I mean, can you really copyright a voice? You know, like it's going to be hard to do. But I mean, yes, I do feel it's whack, because it's just kind of gimmicky. It's kind of lowbrow. I'm not for it, but I'll give him the creative nod of the cat.
Snoop seemed to not give a shit. As Snoop tends to do.
He had Snoop and fucking Tupac cop pleas for him talking to 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
So not only was it whack, but it was use of idols in hip hop to downplay your accusations of being a petter Drake. You know?
Well, see, and I'm wondering if the shoe was on the other foot, how would Drake feel about it if someone was using his voice to rap something that he wouldn't agree with or he wouldn't like?
Yeah. So he was doing it. He was trying to use the stuff that he knew they were going to use against him. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like a calculated move, like, oh, they're going to tell me that I'm fucking talking to all these young chicks and that I'm sus as fuck. So let's have Tupac say, I heard he was sus as fuck. It was heard on the podcast. It must be fake. You know, like, oh, really? It's lame. It's very lame.
I mean, I always forget about that. I always forget that Drake has a little ditty to him. There's some questionable stuff around there. Went a little ditty. But look, you know what? The 323, we try to be a peaceful, healthy, spiritual network full of healthy, spiritual, non-cancelable, offending people who we don't say anything that gets us, riled up, nothing that gets recorded. And we don't have beef with any of these other podcasts. Look, we talk shit about Le Batard's show because it's
fuck Le Batard.
Very possible that they steal bits from us and steal segments from us when we try to get in touch with them. It's whatever. We know that there's a producer that listens. It's whatever. We got FSU versus Miami. It's okay. We don't have beef with them. We don't have beef with that new podcast that's doing sports what ifs. That's nobody's fault. That's somebody's fault on there that we can't do that show anymore. But we don't have beef with them. But we do have beef with one person. And that is Tom Welling of Smallville fame, who caused us to be late to our panel at AwesomeCon. Their show went 5 minutes late, and of course we went 40 minutes late, and that's his fault. And this handsome motherfucker,
fuck you, Tom Welling.
He can't stay in his own lane. He's got a podcast now, and we just couldn't stay out of this. This is a time of beef. Look, like I said, we got close to World War III, man. Like, anything is possible. We got to get this off our chest. So, Tom Welling, you aren't safe. We got shit for you here. Let's get down to business. No time to be lavish. Tom Welling, you're tall, but you're acting so average. From Smallville to cheaper, your goddamn fixture. Nowadays, it's just a B-list mixture. You're tall, handsome, perfect in our eyes. We're jealous, we're bitter, so here come the lies. Tom Welling, you're charming, you're funny, you're cool, but in this diss track, you just a tool. You host a con panel, but couldn't keep the time running late, disrespecting, yeah, that's your crime. You're handsome, you're charming, that's all you got. In the world of acting, you're just a 2000s dot. But kryptonite, your weakness, your plight. Tom Welling, you're Superman, but not in our sight. You think you're so cool, so charming, so neat, but compared to Rosenbaum, you just obsolete. Michael Rosenbaum, that's a man of true skill. From Lex to the Flash, he's got the thrill. You're hosting podcasts, he's conquering the screen. Tom Welling, you're just a has-been dream. So take off the cape, it's time to face the facts. You're not a hero, just a man in slacks. You might be tall, but an eye's just small. You're not the Man of Steel, just a man who will fall.
Bars.
It's fire.
It's like if
That's a bomb.
what's that one backpack
Just a
rap?
bubble. You think you're Superman, but just a Clark Kent double. Your podcast Talkville with Rosenbaum's alright, but if you don't do Cheap for 3, you're going night.
Damn.
Brandon Root. No Cavill. Might be a little better than Dean Cain, I'll give you that. Christopher Reeve. Out of here.
You need to be like, "Brrrah."
It should have had a bra. You got 1 week to respond, Welling.